Howdy everyone! Welcome to Forsaken, a 2 to 9 player experience where you either complete objectives and survive the killer, or play as the killer and absolutely obliterate everyone in the lobby. Every killer and survivor has unique abilities and or passives to help them survive and kill. The two beginner characters are Jason and Noob, which this video will be going over to help newer players get a grasp on the game and make the game more enjoyable until you get the characters you're interested in. At the end of the video, I will have a personal tier list from my experience playing, and will also give reasons why I put them in the tiers I do. Without further ado, enjoy the video. There's two roles in Forsaken. The primary role is Survivor. Survivors are a team of 1 to 8 players opposing the killer. Their main goal is to survive until the timer runs out. They can complete bonus objectives to increase their chance as killer in the next match, while also getting experience and money for completing the objectives. Survivors can find items around the map lying on the floor in specific areas. Items give large advantages such as being able to heal and getting a large speed boost. There's two items in the game, the Bloxy Cola and the Medkit. The Bloxy Cola slows you down and has a 5-second windup, and in return, gives a 20% speed boost for 10 seconds. Bloxy Cola is extremely crucial to survival, and if used well, it can be the key to consistently escaping. The Medkit also slows you down, but has a 7 to 8 second windup instead, and in return, heals you 80 health. The Medkit is incredibly helpful for keeping you and your teammates alive if the killer targets one person. Items aren't the only means of survival though. All the characters have their own unique design, which includes stats, passives, and abilities. Noob has the default stats, doesn't have any passives, but has 3 abilities. His first ability is his Bloxy Cola, which can only be used twice per round, has a 3-second windup, and grants him a 10% speed boost for about 10 seconds. Additionally, any slowness applied prior from the ability being used will be removed. The ability has about a 12-second cooldown. His second ability is his Slate Skin Potion. It also can only be activated twice per round, also has a 3-second windup, and grants him 80 health overheal. Additionally, it grants immunity to all status effects except slowness for 10 seconds. While active, it also slows you down by 45%. If the effect wears off naturally, you gain a 20% movement speed boost for 2 seconds. This ability has a 65-second cooldown. Only use this when you have to stall the timer or if it's a complete last resort. His final ability, the Ghost Berber, is probably the most worthless in the game. After a 3-second startup, you gain Undetectable for 10 seconds and Invisibility 3 for 4.5 seconds. Undetectable makes it so your aura cannot be revealed so long as it's active, and Invisibility makes you 25% transparent per tier, meaning you're 75% invisible with Invisibility 3. This ability has a 55-second cooldown, and should usually never be used unless you're the last man standing. With everything about Noob out the way, we can now move on to the power role. The killer, Jason. After gaining enough malice from completing objectives or just playing the game, you increase your odds to play as killer each round. As the killer, your objective is to kill every last survivor before the timer runs out. You start with 4 minutes, and for each kill you get, you gain 30 seconds on the timer. When there's only one survivor left, the timer is set to 1 minute and 10 seconds, and you have infinite stamina until you're within 100 studs of the last survivor. Jason will be the introduction to passives, an ability you can't use but is always active. Jason's passive is Mute, which significantly lowers his terror radius, allowing you to approach with no auditory cues. A terror radius is music that plays, depicting the killer's distance from you. The more intense it gets, the closer they are. Jason's passive basically makes him a stealth killer. In some scenarios, you can come from unexpected angles to secure free hits, and sometimes even kills. Moving on, his abilities are some of the strongest in the game for chasing survivors if used well. His M1s may be the weakest in the game, only doing 20 damage, but it applies Bleeding 1 for 5 seconds, doing large amounts of damage over time. For each M1 you land consecutively, the bleed increases in damage and resets the timer. His first ability, the Head, has a much larger hitbox sideways, but not further than his M1s. If you land it, it applies Helpless to the target for 15 seconds. Helpless disables the survivor's abilities, which can be extremely crucial for ending chases quickly. Regardless of if you land the ability or not, you'll gain slowness for 3.5 seconds. Be careful when you use this ability. His second ability, Gashing Wound, has the largest hitbox of all of his moves, but pauses his momentum entirely. When you land this move, you and your target will be stuck in a cutscene, regenerating your stamina while it's active, and dealing 50 damage to them. Landing this can basically guarantee you a kill, but you have to be fairly precise. Keep in mind, you can combo dispensers and sentry guns, which can allow survivors to escape if they're inside. His final ability, Raging Pace, is fairly situational, but can be the game changer for ending chases quicker than normal. Jason becomes enraged, making your next M1 or ability do extra damage. During Raging Pace, your sprint is disabled, but your walk speed increases from 8 studs per second to 19.5 studs per second. It will also reveal the aura of the closest survivor for 5 seconds. Raging Pace lasts 14 seconds, and there's no penalty for the time expiring. You regenerate stamina up until 75, and upon activation, the ability will slowly drain stamina starting from 110 down to 75. The best way to use this ability is when you have no stamina and need to close the distance on a survivor, and then swinging once you start draining stamina. That about wraps it up for Jason, so now it's tier listing time. I know I said I would give my opinions on why I did these tiers, but after recording it, it's a 30-minute long recording, so I'm probably not going to edit it. I will put an unedited version of it in the description if people want it. I'm not going to do it now, I'm going to do it later. If you guys want to see an unedited version, then let me know. And hey, now that you made it to the end of the video, I want you to know this took me a long time to edit, but I am absolutely down to make more of these videos. I just need motivation. Please share this with your friends, especially if you're new to the game and you want to get more people into it. This game is so much fun with friends. Just give this game a try. Believe me, it might be frustrating at the beginning, but it only gets better. That being said, I plan on making montages and advanced tutorials and character breakdowns, like how to play a character properly and how to play him more efficient and stuff. But again, I need support. I need motivation. So please subscribe, like, comment, and get all your friends to watch this if you can. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.